So, some time ago, I started this book by Haruki Murakami, and I originally found interest in it because of the parallel universe, sci-fi, fantasy aspect to it. But for me, there are certain elements of his writing style that definitely threw me off and kind of made me shelve this book. Let me see if I could find you the example. So this is the first paragraph of the second chapter, and it introduces our male main character, and we're introduced to him with a look back on his first memory being one of breastfeeding, and realizing this man that was also, I guess, breastfeeding on his mom wasn't his dad, something like that. And it kind of like really threw me off. This is the second chapter. This is our introduction to Tango, our male protagonist, and it kind of, I think, at least for me, painted what was to be expected for the rest of the book. And I gave it a little bit more chapters, and I just kind of paused it for indefinitely because I don't know if this, that kind of writing style is going to be throughout the entire book. So that was a big point. I paused it, but he is actually an author I have been keeping my eye on because I love how his stories kind of incorporate a grounded fantasy sci-fi look that a lot of other authors don't really do. They either go full on into sci-fi or fantasy and that's it, but I really like that grounded realism blended with sci-fi or fantasy kind of style, and I think this author that's his main genre, that blend. So yeah, this is a pause for now, but okay, so here is the actual book. I actually purchased this maybe a few days before I started this video, and I bought it at bookshop.org. It's a really cool book site. If you want to support local businesses, definitely recommend it, especially if you're wanting to support your local businesses in your area, which I did. But this is it. For some reason I thought it would be bigger, but it's actually manageable. I mean, I'm not going to give myself a time frame to finish this, but I want to read it slowly. I want this to be a book where I can finish it from start to finish consistently and throughout, I don't know, maybe like read 30 minutes or 30 pages per day. And it's been I don't know, I want to say like close to 3 or 4 months since I last picked up 1Q84. And actually taking a look at it now, where my bookmark is, page 97. So I actually read a little bit longer than I assumed. Chapter 7 is when I officially stopped. And actually, I should probably put my bookmark right here because I do intend coming back to this. But this one just seemed a little bit more interesting to my style as of now. I think 1Q84 is definitely, at least the 100 pages I read so far, a slow burn sci-fi or speculative fiction. Speculative fiction. Yeah, so this is a little blurb if you guys want to read it. Keep it up on the screen for quite a few seconds. And yeah, I don't know, there's something a lot more grounded with this one that made me choose this over revisiting 1Q84. And I kind of like books like this where it's like 90% grounded with 10% fantasy or fiction kind of in the background. I think it's kind of why I like the Walking Dead series a lot. It's like 10% zombies, 90% humans being evil. So I'm hoping this kind of fulfills that fantasy version of that. And yeah, like I said, it's pretty short. Hopefully I could finish it before the end of the year. I think that's a very manageable goal for me, but again, I don't want to give myself a goal because it brings me back to the time of school where I was rushing to finish projects and papers, and I would just get overwhelmed and annoyed, and it really takes the joy out of everything. So here's to this book. This is the first part. I'm gonna be kind of reading this and then doing my thoughts along the way as I read it, and that will be a longer video in the future, hopefully soon. But these are them. If anyone out there is curious, I can't recommend either because I haven't read either of them, but if anyone out there who's watching this wants to kind of somewhat read this with me, yeah, definitely check out bookshop.org. I'm in no way affiliated with them. I love their mission, and I think, it's a good alternative to Amazon if you're trying to cut back on these big corporations. So, oh, I forgot to mention, these are the other 2 books I got in my order with Weinberg Chronicle. Penguin book of the prose poem. I love me a prose poem. I think it's such a unique poetry form, and I think I first learned about it in graduate school, which is kind of crazy how long it took me to actually realize that this was actually a poetic form, and it's something I've adopted a lot in my writing, which I think I'm going to talk about a little bit more on a writing focused video. This is the other book I got. This has been a book on my list for a while, and I do have the paperback, mass market paperback, but I'm just too old for these little texts now. And yeah, the few times that I tried starting it with this book, this mass market paperback, it really hurt my eyes. It strained it, so I had to, I guess, re-spend some money on a book that I already have. But I'm gonna donate this, and someone else, hopefully younger with better eyesight, will enjoy it. But this is another one I'm really excited about diving into. Okay, but that's it for this video, and yeah, let's hopefully I have some coherent thoughts and not just rambling about this book. So I'm gonna work on it.